What's going on, y'all? It's your man, Stephen Bardo, coming to you with another edition of Bardo's Breakdown. Hope everybody's well. Obviously, you could tell I'm not in my studio, and I'm in a hotel, so I hope the Wi-Fi holds up for me. Um, Let me know, guys, if you can't hear me or if something's going on. Just shoot me a message or let me know. I'd really appreciate it. Um, it's the best time of the year. We're starting to get into March Madness. We're in championship week right now. I am in Washington, D.C. I will be doing the Colonial Athletic Association, the CAA championship tomorrow with Tom McCarthy on Westwood One Radio. So before I come back to the Big Ten, I've got a championship game here. And so tonight in the semifinals, it is College of Charleston versus Towson and Hofstra versus UNC Wilmington. So I think Hofstra and UNC Wilmington kick off in about 20 minutes. So I wanted to come on and give some of my thoughts here about the Big Ten and the Big Ten tournament coming up. So because I think it's going to be a wild affair. It's going to be a wild ride. Hope all is well. Was at Rutgers last night, and I'm gonna run through these really quickly and just kind of tell you who I like in the tournament, who I think is struggling, who's playing well, and some of my oh shoot, I didn't put my all Big Ten team in, but I'll verbalize that. I won't put it up in a graphic. All right. So these are the hottest teams I think right now going into the Big Ten tournament. Just based on belief, no team has won more than 2 wins in a row entering this tournament. That's crazy. If you look at almost every other conference tournament at this level, there's a team that's hot. Maybe not the Big 12. I think there's probably a team in the Big 12 that's got more than a 2-game winning streak. That's the largest winning streak of any Big Ten team coming in. So right now, Purdue's got wins over Wisconsin and their last game against Illinois yesterday. Michigan State has wins over Nebraska and at home against Ohio State on Saturday. Penn State has had 2 buzzer beaters at Northwestern and at home versus Maryland, and Cam Winter hit both of them. So these are the hottest teams right now. So this ought to give you a sense of how crazy the Big Ten Conference tournament could be in Chicago this week. So the teams that I'm a little bit concerned about, Rutgers, they've lost 6 of their last 8. They looked listless last night in their loss at home to Northwestern. You know, we keep talking about the loss of Mawat Mag, but I think there's something else going on. Paul Mulcahy, he's not the same player. Something's going on. Caleb McConnell has been dealing with back spasms. Cliff Amore looked listless, looked like he was just he was there, but he's not as aggressive. Cam Spencer is so streaky as a shooter. Something's going on with Rutgers, and it ain't good. And it's kind of obvious to me because I know that swagger, I know that aggressiveness in which the Scarlet Knights generally play with. It's not there right now. So I'm really concerned about Rutgers. I'm also concerned about Maryland because Maryland is a team that can look so good at home, but on the road, boy, do they struggle. Lost to Ohio State, and then they had I believe a double-digit lead against Penn State, and Cam Winter got a putback at the buzzer to seal the victory. So Maryland, I'm a little bit concerned with. They have not shown a consistency on the road or away from Xfinity Center. So I'm a little concerned with them. And then I'm concerned with the Illini. Caffeine poisoning? Really? Like, really, guys? Like, I don't know. I was talking to one of my good buddies today, and it's amazing how young people let everyone know their business. I'd be embarrassed to let somebody know that I had caffeine poisoning. That's like I don't know that. I, did, I don't know what to make of that one. I really don't. I don't know what to make of this Illini team. They're woefully inconsistent. Um, they they make you lick your lips because they can put a comeback. They can be down 24 at Purdue and rally to get back into the game, but they can come out to start games listless, not like engaged, and poor shot selection. Um, I don't know, guys. This is a team that is very concerning to me. So I don't know what I don't expect them to have much success in the Big Ten conference tournament. That's just me. But we'll see. All right. So my Big Ten Player of the Year is Zach E from Purdue. Trey Jackson Davis made a good run at the end, but Zach Edey was so dominant throughout the course of the season and Purdue finished as the regular season champion by at least 2 games. And so to me, Zach Edey is the Big Ten Player of the Year. Now, this one was a little bit tougher. My Big Ten Freshman of the Year is Bryce Sensabaugh. Now, Braden Smith was in there. Fletcher Lawyer was in there. Jalen Hood-Schifino was definitely in there. But Bryce Sensenbaugh's output and production, I think his numbers bear out that he is the Big Ten Freshman of the Year from Ohio State. Had an outstanding freshman campaign. I really don't expect to see him back. Big Ten Coach of the Year, I think is Chris Collins. Certainly Matt Painter can get some consideration. Kevin Willard can get some consideration. Even Fred Hoiberg, I believe. Let me take a look here. I believe Nebraska finished with 9 Big Ten wins. That's pretty impressive for losing 2 starters to injury. And they were able to finish their Big Ten regular season with 9 victories, losing 2 starters. So Fred Hoiberg is certainly in that conversation. But Chris Collins with Northwestern, I believe they were preseason pick 13th. They finished second. Northwestern. This is their most Big Ten wins ever. This is their highest ranking in a conference tournament ever. This is their highest ranking in an at-large bid right now. I believe they're a 5 seed, according to Mike DeCourcy. This is their highest seeding ever. So big ups to Chris Collins and Northwestern, and big ups to Chris Lowry, the associate head coach. I believe Chris has got an associate title. But Chris Lowry's fingerprints are all over this team. So big up to Chris Lowry, big up to Chris Collins, and big up to the Northwestern Wildcats. They are tough. They are gritty. They make you play their style of game. Boo Buie has emerged as an all Big Ten performer. Chase Aldeej is streaky on the offensive end, but boy, does he show up on the defensive end. And Matthew Nicholson may have had his best game yesterday, and Brooks Barnhizer is coming on. So this is a Northwestern team that is dangerous. They will certainly have an opportunity to win the Big Ten Conference Tournament because they're legit. So congratulations to Chris Collins. All right, let's run through the games real quick. So starting on Wednesday, the early game, 13 seed Ohio State versus 12 seed Wisconsin. And then in the later game, 14th seed Minnesota versus a pretty hot 11 seed Nebraska in the late game. You ever heard me say a hot team in Nebraska? That's pretty refreshing, isn't it? All right. Then on Thursday, me and Kevin Kugler had the early session games. We got the first 2 games. So we've got number 9 seed Rutgers versus number 8 seed Michigan. Now, Rutgers may have to do some work in the Big Ten Conference Tournament to not sweat out Selection Sunday. 2 weeks ago, they were solidly in the tournament. Right now, I'm not so sure. I didn't go and do the projected seedings right now because I don't typically like to get into that, guys. I think you know that because it's going to shift so much. But Rutgers may have some work to do. And this Michigan team, listen, They had to finish the regular season on the road at Illinois, overtime game, on the road at Indiana, overtime loss. This is a hot young team in the Wolverines, and they will be a dangerous out in the Big Ten Conference tournament. So we've got the first game, Kevin Kugler and me on the ones and twos, Rutgers versus Michigan in the first game. And then we've got the winner of Ohio State, Wisconsin versus number 5 seed Iowa in the second game. The Iowa Hawkeyes having dropped their last home game to Nebraska. Kind of a up and down Iowa Hawkeyes team right now. Can play with anybody, but can also lose to anybody. So it's going to be interesting to see how they show up in Chicago for that one. The late games will be covered by Robbie Hummel and Brandon Gaudin. Number 10 seed Penn State versus number 7 seed Illinois. This is the third time these teams have matched up. And Penn State has won both games pretty easily. But if any of you all remember, like I do, it's very difficult to beat a good team 3 times. And so it's going to be a fascinating matchup between number 10 seed Penn State versus number 7 seed Illinois. And then in the nightcap, the winner of Minnesota-Nebraska plays number 6 seed Maryland. All right? That's on Thursday. On Friday, Kevin Kugler and me are going to be on the ones and twos again on the early games. So that'll be number 1 seed Purdue versus either the winner of Rutgers or Michigan. Number 1 seed Purdue versus Rutgers or Michigan winner. And then the second game that me and Kevin will be on is number 4 seed Michigan State versus either Ohio State, Wisconsin, or Iowa. Whoever comes out of that grouping right there, Ohio State, Wisconsin, or Iowa will match up with number 4 seed Michigan State in the second game on Friday afternoon. In the later games, which Robbie Hummel and Brandon Gaudin will be covering, number 2 seed Purdue will play the winner of Penn State and Illinois. That right there, that's going to be a hell of a game. I'll get to my prognostication in a little bit, but number 2 seed Northwestern versus the winner of Penn State, Illinois. Remember now, Penn State and Illinois in the last matchups against Northwestern, they beat Northwestern. So that's going to be a fantastic matchup. And then in the nightcap, number 3 seed Indiana is going up against either Minnesota, Nebraska, or Maryland. More than likely, in my opinion, I kind of would lean towards Maryland in that one. So a matchup between Indiana and Maryland it'd be a fantastic matchup. All these matchups are going to be intriguing, though, because just the way the regular season has gone and the fact that I've got to repeat this again, ladies and gentlemen, there's only 3 teams that are coming in to this Big Ten Conference tournament with 2 wins or more. No, with only 2 wins. Purdue is 1, Michigan State is 1, and Penn State. Those are the only 3 teams with a 2-game winning streak. That's it. Nobody has more than 2 wins consecutively coming into this tournament. So this is wide open. It's going to be wild. Okay? Now, here's what I project in the semis. I think it's going to be Purdue versus Michigan State and Northwestern or Illinois versus Indiana in semis. I'm going to lean towards Illinois in this one, only because I think they can throw some different things at Northwestern on a neutral court setting. And Illinois, they've got as much potential as anybody. So I think in a rivalry situation in Chicago, a pro Illini fan base there, they will show up. I happen to think that will probably be Illinois versus Indiana in the semis. And boy, will that be a game. And I know you guys are going to think I'm crazy when I say this. I'm leaning towards Indiana winning the whole thing. I really am. The way that they're playing, the way that Trace Jackson Davis is playing, they're veteran players, their depth. Jalen Hood-Schifino was really quiet down the stretch yesterday. He hit a big 3, though, in regulation. It got it evened up, a big 3. And he can take over a game. So I'm leaning towards Indiana right now to win the whole thing. All right. Just a reminder, if you guys want to join the inner circle, that is Bardo's Breakdown, you want to join the tribe, there's two ways to do it. Text me to 312-847-2739. That's 847, I'm sorry, 312-847-2739. Or you can join the email group, which is stephenbardo.com/college-basketball-newsletter. Once again, stephenbardo.com/college-basketball-newsletter. All right. Let me get to your comments real quick because I got to jump off and scout these games here. But all right, what's going on, Lex? Good to see you, my man. I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. What's going on? Facebook user, what's happening? Merry Christmas. I know that's right. Eli Rodich. Okay, go Boilers. All right, we got a Boilermaker fan on the ones and twos here. Is that coaching or on the kids or both? I'm not sure what you're referring to, but if you can restate that, I'll address it. I don't know what to expect from this Illini team. Get in line. I don't think Brad Underwood knows what to expect from this team. This team is sometimes chemistry-wise, teams just don't blend. And this team is really, I don't know. I don't know the status of Jay Epps. I don't know if Matthew Meyer has somebody to walk around to keep him from drinking energy drinks. I don't know. And you know what? And due to the fact that you guys are spending your time with me, I'm going to let you in on some insight. I hope this doesn't come back to bite Illinois. But when you have Coleman Hawkins handling the basketball as much as he did in the comeback against Purdue, I'm not sure that's a good recipe. Because I've questioned his decision-making all season long. And sometimes he looks great, and sometimes he looks tragic. And I'm not certain if that is a good recipe for Coleman to think that he needs to handle the ball more than he does. It's just my opinion. Not sure there. So we'll see. Great choice, Coach of the Year for Collins. Yeah, I of course, look, Matt Painter could very well get it, and I think he would have, in my opinion, for my vote. Matt Painter would have definitely got it had it not been for the way that Northwestern played this season. They had a good non-conference, and it was like, okay, they had a good non-conference, but wait till the Big Ten. And when they got in the Big Ten at Michigan State, beat Illinois at home, rocked Indiana at Indiana. I mean, they had some big wins. Then they beat number 1 Purdue at home. Then they smacked Indiana again. And I was fortunate enough to do a lot of Northwestern games. So, yeah, big ups to Chris Collins and the Brian James, Bryant McIntosh, Taylor Battle, Chris Lowry. Big ups to that coaching staff. They've done a hell of a job of developing trust among their players so that they could push them into a whole different system, a defensive-oriented system, and let those guards bring you home. And that's exactly what they've been able to do. So big ups to that coaching staff. Doug Duker, go Illini. All right. With the Big Ten tournament set up, Michigan State would be a sleeper. Hey, Mays, I don't disagree with you. You guys have heard me say for weeks, I think Michigan State could do damage in the NCAA tournament. So if they do come through and beat Purdue, I wouldn't be surprised. But right now, I just have a gut feeling that Indiana, and to me, is the favorite. But look, this thing is wide open. Hell, Nebraska could be in the championship game with the way that they're playing. Who knows? Michigan could be in the championship game very easily. Remember, guys, the Wolverines finished their regular season at Illinois and at Indiana. Those are both overtime losses. So this is a capable team. They're playing their best basketball right now. If Illinois loses their opening round game against Penn State, who see them landing Sunday? I say a 10. I don't know. I don't even want to speculate on the seeding. I don't even get into that stuff really because it's it's all projection, and it's too much. There's too many variables in there. What's up, David Lane? Good to see you, bro. Hope all is well across the world, rather. Paul Miller, Trace Jackson Davis, or Edey. I got Edey. If Trace Jackson Davis wins it, he would be worthy. I just think Edey's done it all season. He's been dominant. Trace Jackson Davis has been dominant through a good portion of the Big Ten slate. But early on, Indiana and Trace had some struggles. Purdue really hasn't struggled until recently, to the back end of the Big Ten. And they still won the conference by 2 games. And Zach Edey is up for Player of the Year in the nation. So I give Edey the nod, but Trace Jackson Davis certainly right there. Need to hear your truth about the Illini. West K. I just said it. I don't know. I don't trust them in the tournament. They're too inconsistent for me. They got stuff going on off the court. I don't know. Now, here's the thing. Illinois could cut down the nets. They're talented. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that they probably have the most potential in the tournament. This could easily. I say that. I'm saying that Illinois could easily be in the Sweet 16. They have that much talent. If they decide to come and play, if Underwood can get them deciding, okay, guys, let's go. If they can put whatever differences they have to decide and they can come and play, oh, this team has great potential, but I haven't seen it consistently. And just because it's the Big Ten Conference tournament and then the NCAA tournament, how you do anything is how you do everything. I'm going to say that again. How you do anything is how you do everything. I'm a pattern recognition guy. That's how I'm able to do my job. I look for patterns. And the pattern with the Illini is that they are woefully inconsistent. You don't know who's going to step up from night to night. You don't know if Dane Danger's going to get the ball or if he's going to play 6 minutes. You don't know if Matthew Myers is going to hit 7 threes or he's going to put up a donut. You don't know if Terrence Shannon's going to be in foul trouble or if you don't know if he's going to take over a game down the stretch. All of these possibilities are there. Illinois could win the Big Ten Conference tournament. They could get to a Sweet 16. There's no doubt about it in my mind. They're that talented, but they're also inconsistent. So I don't know. That's what I make of the Illini. That's my truth about the Illini. They're inconsistent. Oh, what's up, Kevin McDuffie? Good to see you, man. JD, it was great to see you at Hinkle. Those Marquette Golden Eagles, baby. If you are filling out a bracket, and obviously we don't know the matchups, we don't know the seeding, but if Marquette wins the Big East Conference tournament and they become a number 2 seed, put them down as a Final Four potential. Definitely a second weekend team. I saw JD at the Marquette Butler game, and Marquette took them out in the second half. Oh, there's no doubt about it. This is the best month of the year for basketball fans. What's up, Nick Lapping? How you doing, man? What are 3 things the Illini have to do to make a run in the tournament? Consistency is a huge issue, but the other thoughts. Nick, look, man, I follow this team closely for obvious reasons. Brad Underwood has done everything he possibly can. And so when I see people criticize Underwood on Twitter and all that, they don't really know what they're talking about. Brad has had to change so much stuff up for this group. He's had to change the way he coaches. If you guys notice, Brad Underwood's not getting on guys like you have grown accustomed to seeing. He's had to change the way that he coaches. So my criticism is not necessarily with Brad Underwood. It's not. Because Illinois is still the winningest program the last 4 years in the Big Ten. I like Coach Underwood. The players and their chemistry, there's something there. And it's just like you roll the dice, Nick, each and every game. You don't know what team you're going to get. And that's hard to be successful in a win or go home scenario. It's hard to find success when you're woefully inconsistent. So those are my thoughts. Um, I said with Coleman Hawkins, Coleman caught a pass against was it Michigan? Yeah, Coleman's almost 7 feet tall. He caught a pass in the lane and he shoveled it out to the 3-point line. It was a crucial part of the game. I'm like, son, turn around and score. Um, Matthew Meyer, like, he drives me crazy at the free throw line. Have you guys noticed this? Where he'll sit up there and just rush it and just, like, it's like, slow down. These are free for a reason. He's too good of a shooter not to shoot better from the line. His demeanor and his way are baffling to me. I don't know what the hell's up with Jaden Epps. I don't know. I don't know. They say it's a concussion. Um, I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. So those are my thoughts on the Illini. If they win the Big Ten tournament, I would not be surprised. If they lose the first game, I would not be surprised. If they lose the first game and then they make the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament as a 10 or 11 seed, I wouldn't be surprised because they have that potential to do all of that. But we'll see if Brad can get them ready to play each and every game and see what happens. But Nick, thank you for the question and good to see you, my man. Simeon Fuller, great work this year. Thank you, Simeon. I really appreciate that. What's up, Greg Boysall? All about good and bad matchups. Orange Blue need to be willing to throw multiple looks defensively at these guard-dominant teams to have a chance. Slow starts to get behind 15. And it takes to come back. Yep. Yeah, no, all valid points, Greg. All valid points. Richard White, how you doing? Go IU. I believe that's Indiana. Uh-oh. Woo. Sorry about that. I had my lamp fall on me. Sorry, y'all. I know that's going to change the look a little bit. I'll lean back a little bit. That might be better. Sorry about that. I hope that didn't scare you as much as it did me. What's up, Aaron Hudson? Good to see you. Do you think we'll double team Pickett? I don't know that double teaming Pickett is the answer. I don't know. That Penn State matchup for Illinois is a tough one. And that's why Pickett is one of the best assist guys in the country because teams try to double team him. And it's hard to double team from the center. See, Penn State is really smart with how they play. And if you start to double team him, he'll get the ball at the free throw line. He'll back down straight down the lane. If you come off one of the sides, they put Andrew Funk, Cam Winter, and Seth Lundy out on the perimeter, and you have to pick your poison. If you leave Keba Jai underneath, Pickett will just dump it over the top. He'll get a dunk. It's a very tough matchup for Illinois. I think you have to change your coverages. I don't think you can go into the game if you're Illinois against Penn State thinking one particular thing because you just have to change up what you do because if you try to do one thing against that team, it's not going to work. Ask Maryland, ask Illinois, ask Northwestern. Northwestern's a better defensive team than Illinois is, and they slowed him down, but then Andrew Funk caught fire in the second half. Winter played well. Seth Lundy played well. So this is a team that is not just Jalen Wilson Pickett. Although when he's balling and it's in the midnight hour, Penn State's pretty tough. What's up with Bates? I haven't seen his all-star status. I didn't know Bates had all-star status. He missed the bunny yesterday against Michigan. I was like, how in the hell did you miss that? It was a tip, it was a rebound, and it was a putback, and he blew it. I was like, wow, what is that? I don't know about Bates. Bates is woefully inconsistent as well. He loves to shoot the three, streaky shooter, but athletically, I think he could do a lot more, but I don't know. Ray Ramos, is Wisconsin in danger? Certainly, yes, they are. They've got to do some work in the Big Ten Conference tournament. And the thing is, Wisconsin's got to beat Ohio State's playing better. So they've got to beat an improved Ohio State team. And then they'd have to beat a Wisconsin team, which I think Wisconsin matches up with Iowa fairly reasonably. If they could get past Ohio State, I would not be surprised to see Wisconsin take care of Iowa. But Wisconsin's got some work to do, and they're going to need help from other conference tournaments in order for them, if they don't win at least 2 or 3 games, they're going to need some help around the country. Yes, Marquette will be a problem. That is a good team that's kind of flown under the radar this year. They won the Big East by 2 games. And all the Big East is not as tough from 1 through 11 like the Big 10 is or the Big 12 is. Their top 5 are as good as any top 5 in the country. And Villanova's coming on, so that's 6. Villanova's starting to play like the Villanova that we've grown accustomed to. But yeah, Marquette's going to be a really, really good team in the tournament. Has a few teams that could go for. Yes, Xavier is one. UConn seems to have righted their midseason woes. UConn is balling. So Xavier, UConn, Marquette. Providence has hit the skids. I don't know what's going on in Providence. They've dropped some really head scratchers. They got blown out at home by Seton Hall. They lost at home to, it wasn't Georgetown, but they lost to somebody else at home that they weren't supposed to. Providence not playing very well at all. They're trending in the wrong direction. But when they were playing well, that was a potential second weekend team as well. But Big East, certainly Curtis Dietz has some quality wins. Are you saying that the Illinois team has internal player issues? Do they have a prima donna in the mix, Robert Sheehan? Robert, I'm not sure. I just think the chemistry is funky. They don't embrace each other a lot. They don't touch each other a lot. They don't dap and high five a lot. They don't do a lot of that. Like Dane is kind of off in his own world. Matthew Myers off in his own world. Coleman, I think, tries to lead, but he's really intense, and so I think it rubs his teammates sometimes the wrong way. RJ Melendez is playing better, but RJ is like more soft-spoken. Luke Goody has been he's been a breath of fresh air. He comes in a leader, tough, hit a big 3 at Purdue in the second half. Is a willing defender. It's just a funky bunch. I don't know if they have internal issues. To me, they just don't seem to vibe like an elite level team vibes. Like, the Flying Illini, we weren't best friends, but we loved and respected each other on the floor because we knew we had something special. And so when you know that you're on a special team, you got to put your personal stuff to the side and give yourself up for the team. And I don't know. I'm not saying the guys don't do that. It's just, to me, the chemistry mix is funky. And I've seen it all season. Hope that answers your question, Robert. Who do you have winning conference tournament? I'm going with Indiana. I don't like Illinois' draw. Curtis, I think Indiana. I have Indiana as well. Just the way that they're playing recently. I think they have the ingredients. I think Mike Woodson is an excellent game coach. I like them in the tournament as well. If I had to pick. Oh, here we go. You're right in your assessment about the Illini. They're talented but very disconnected. Need a leader at point guard position. It's tough when you have a freshman at the point guard position, no doubt. No doubt. Miller now. Sincere Harris and Ty Rogers, they are not an issue at all. I love those two. I play with them any day of the week. I love Sincere Harris and Ty Rogers. The way that they play, and yes, are they limited in what they bring? Yes, they are. They are certainly limited. You know what? Let me see if I can turn this way. It might be. Nope. I'm going to bring this down so this doesn't fall again. Sorry about that. God, it looks bad. Okay, that's better. Um, I love Sincere Harris. I love Ty Rogers. I love their makeup, their team first. You can tell they're excited to be on the floor. They're not too cool for school. They dap their teammates up. They get mad when things don't go right. I love that passion. So I love those two guys. I've never seen you this baffled about your alma mater. Definitely wish the Illini well in the tournament. Well, Donovan, here's the thing, and that's very insightful on you. I could go into depth about all of these Big Ten teams, right? Because all of them have things that I've seen, like Rutgers. Something's up with Rutgers. Something's up with Paul McCahey because he's been a shell of himself in the last half of the season. It can't just be the injury to Mawat Mag that has had Rutgers lose 6 of their last 8. That can't be it. They're too veteran. They've got talent, but there's something else that's happened, and I'm not sure what it is. I mean, I could go down the line. I thought that Indiana's decision to not bring Xavier Johnson back this season was an excellent decision, because that would have been very hard to bring him back into the mix this late in the year, as good as Indiana is playing. And then Iowa. What's up with the Hawkeyes, right? I mean, they look like giant killers, and it's no shame to lose at home to Nebraska, but on senior day, you got to win that one. And so, Donovan, I could go into depth about all these teams and what I see, but of course, I'm going to speak about my alma mater. So, like I said, though, here's the thing. Illinois could prove me wrong all day long. They're that talented, and they'll have that opportunity. So we'll see. Any benefit to playing zone against Penn State? Reduce the 3 damage. They got killed. See, here's the thing. Historically, people think that the zone is good against 3-point shooting. Penn State is just a difficult matchup, guys. If you can't, here's the thing, you can't throw one look at a talented team for the whole game. You've got to go in with 3 or 4 different looks defensively based on what they're doing, because Penn State is so flexible with their offensive schemes and how they attack teams. Like, Michael Shrewsbury will just start out. He doesn't script his first few plays. What he does, he just starts the game and sees what the defense does, and then they make adjustments. So it's really hard going in against Penn State to say, okay, we're going to do this every time. Doesn't work well. So I guess a zone could be in the mix, Nick, but you're going to have to change the coverages, because Penn State, they'll figure out what you're doing. If you're doing the same thing every time, they'll cut you apart at some point if they're hitting 3-point shots. And they seem to hit their threes whenever they play the Illini. Who wins a one-on-one game between you and Kendall Gill? Josh McQuality. Right now, Kendall. At the end of our careers, I played a 2-on-2 game against Kendall. It was Kendall and his brother Keith. And and I was playing with their cousin. I think his name was Josh. And we beat him 4 games in a row. I was killing him because he thought I was still shooting the way I shot at Illinois. But I was a professional by that time. I was making money. So I could shoot it a lot better when I was playing in Japan. He kept laying off me, and I just bang. I was just killing him from the 3. So at the end of our pro careers, I could have given him a run for his money. Kendall's knees are in better shape than mine right now, so he would beat me right now. But that's my brother, love him to death. And my nephew is balling. St. Ignatius is going to the Super Sectional. Phoenix Gill and his team are going to play in the Super Sectional. I'm not exactly sure who they're playing with, but big ups to Phoenix Gill. Why is that coach can't come up with a set play besides dribble, penetration, kick, shoot the 3, needing a deuce to win, 15 seconds play? Mike, I don't get into that. I don't get into coaching decisions generally, because what looks like what's happening on the surface, they have to deal with 50 more things in that moment. And sometimes they're going on what they see. Sometimes they're going on gut. I don't question coaches in that scenario because it's it's very difficult. And again, this team is funky, man. Their chemistry is funky. So I don't know. Um, okay, Thomas Brooks. Now this is a great point. Thank you for bringing this up, Thomas. Underwood said in the post game he didn't have his team prepared for Purdue as a result of the bad first half. Do you know what Coach Underwood is doing? He's protecting his players. What did he mean by that statement? The halftime talk must have been good. He's protecting his players. That's it. That Brad Underwood, if you guys were privy enough to go to shoot-arounds, he's doing everything possible to get these guys prepared. It's not that he didn't have. Whenever you hear a coach say that, oh, I didn't have my team prepared for Purdue in the first half, he's trying to protect his team. He's trying to protect the players from media scrutiny. And so Brad and his staff did everything in their power to prepare these guys to play. They came out flat, and Purdue jumped them. I mean, like, if you guys remember the start of that game, Illinois, I believe, had 5 turnovers in the first 7 minutes or something like that. Turnovers are player decisions or confusion or lack of aggressiveness is what I saw. That's not on Underwood. And hell, if you're players and you're going to Purdue and you're in Mackey Arena and you're not ready to play, that ain't on the coach. If you come out flat, now if you make turnovers due to aggressiveness, I can live with that. But if you're on your heels, confused doing in the last game of the regular season, that's not on Coach Underwood. That's on the players. So that's what he means, Thomas. He's trying to protect his players from media scrutiny. He does everything in his power to get these guys prepared. Trust me on that. All of these coaches do. There's not a coach in the Big Ten that doesn't do everything that they possibly can. These dudes don't sleep, ladies and gentlemen. They might get 2 or 3 hours of sleep per night. If you were to see Chris Collins right now, he's had a cough for about a month and a half that won't go away because they can't get adequate rest because they're in the grind. They're doing everything they possibly can. So if you don't ever think that the coach, whenever you hear that, that's a coach protecting his players from media scrutiny. That's it. Trust me. Thank you, Thomas. It's a great question. Is it possible that the line have too many young guys trying out for the NBA and not putting the team first? Certainly, Wes. That's certainly possible. You know, guys with 1 foot out, not both feet in. That's possible. And Illinois is not alone. It's not an Illinois problem. It's not a college basketball problem. It's not. Look at North Carolina. I think North Carolina's got some work to do to get in the tournament. With basically, you take Brady Manick away, it's basically the same team that got to the championship game last season, and they're trying to get into the tournament. So it's happening all over. It's not just an Illinois thing. Joined late, but I think Marquette and Nova are going to be hard. Andy Moss, you're exactly right. Nova is balling. That Cam Whitmore is a lottery pick. What's the young man that was hurt that came back? Justin is back. They're legit. They're going to be a tough out. You're right. And Marquette, one of the best passing teams in all of college basketball. I think the number 6 in offensive efficiency in the country. Some people question their defense. I don't. They play enough defense to go deep into the tournament, and their offense legit. And Tyler Kolek, he's one of the 3 best point guards in the country. They got everything they need, and they're young. They're not going to lose anybody to graduation. Can you have great chemistry with so many transfers? Curtis Dietz, you hit it on the head right there. Great question. I don't know. It doesn't, in Illinois' case, from my vantage point, it doesn't look like it. Great point. Do you think Wisconsin has a coaching problem, or is their struggle player inconsistency? Ray R. I think Greg Gard is an outstanding coach. I think something's happened to Chucky Hepburn. He's hiding an injury. He's hiding something off the court. Their team is hiding something. But if you look at their roster, that's not a particularly talented roster. They're not going to, they don't have a lot of guys who can go get you a bucket. And no knock on Max Klesmit, but when Max Klesmit is your leading scorer, I don't know how successful you're going to be consistently. And he's had to step up down the stretch in order for Wisconsin to even remain competitive. So something's awry there. And I think Greg Gard's an excellent coach. I just think something's awry there that we're not privy to, and they're doing a good job of concealing it. Do I think there'll be a rush for the transfer portal? It's hard to say, Thomas. If they get to an Elite Eight, get to a Final Four, maybe not, because they certainly could do it. They're talented enough, but we'll see. Ooh, I got to wrap up because I got to watch these games. Let me see. Scott Reed, would more structured plays early in the game help the Illini problems? Possibly. I don't know. It depends on who they're going against, Scott, I think is kind of the question for that. But I don't know, possibly. Kevin Jones for the Illini, at this juncture, how possible is it to flip the switch and make a deep run with consent? Kevin, they could do it. Look, when you're down 24 at Mackey Arena, most teams would pack their bags and be done. The Illini I think they got to 1 point in that comeback. So they could do whatever they want. But we'll see. I like Marquette in the tournament, Bo. I like them in the Big East Conference tournament. I also don't sleep on Villanova, though. Villanova could be the dark horse in that one. I think Illinois stops tripping over themselves. They're going far. We'll see. They certainly have the talent to. Tied it, bro. Okay. Any chance Sky back? I doubt it, Mike. With this amount of time that's elapsed and he still hasn't returned, I doubt that he'd come back. Let's see. Samuel Hicks, maybe the players need to stop drinking monster drinks and playing video games so they can be awake enough to play a good first half, because they have been terrible last few games of first half. Yeah, that's a head scratcher. Justin Moore, thank you, Kevin Lucas. Justin Moore is back and Villanova is back. Trust me, they're ready. All right, guys, I got to run because I got to do some scouting on the CAA semifinals. I'll be calling their championship game on Westwood One. I'm in the midst of 14 games in 14 days. I started Marquette, St. John's on Saturday, Northwestern and Rutgers Sunday. Tomorrow, CAA championship. Thursday, the early session games at the Big Ten Conference Tournament. Friday, the 2 early games. Catch a flight Friday night to Dallas. Saturday, Conference USA Championship for Westwood One. Come back Sunday. Go back Tuesday. I'm so happy to be doing the first and second round of the NCAA tournament with Westwood One. I'll be in Birmingham for that. And so I'm in the mix. I'm riding it out, y'all. But I'm feeling good. I'm happy about it, and I'm looking forward to it. So I'll come back during the Big Ten Conference tournament because I'm sure there's going to be some wild stuff that happens, and I'll come on live. So make sure you hit the notification button, and please share this with people you think would enjoy this type of conversation. I love you guys jumping in and giving your great questions and your feedback, because you all make this platform what it is. I know it's got my name on it, but I could be sitting here talking to myself, but I'm not. I'm talking to my tribe. I'm talking to the college basketball community because I'm so grateful for you all spending some time with me. Thank you so much. Enjoy championship week, baby. March Madness is here. Until next time, holla, y'all.